Welcome to the Last Shot podcast with Julien and Zachary. And today we have something super exciting for you all streaming wherever you are, watching us, listening to us with the Last Shot podcast. We told you we would never let you down with what we bring to you, and we got something good today. Zachary?
Hello, guys. Hey, look, we have a very special guest, Nic Nemeth, TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
What a lead-in. I hope I can follow that energy and keep it up. And I know, I got up early this morning. I don't know about you guys. And I'm celebrating it because I've been very fortunate to be an ambassador and a mouthpiece for TNA for a year now, and especially this week as we're all excited for Genesis.
Absolutely. And knowing that Genesis is right around the corner, I know Zachary has a question, so go ahead and lead away, Zach.
So, as TNA World Heavyweight Champion, what does that title mean to you?
It means a lot, man. Being any kind of champion anywhere, if you make your own backyard federation like Matt Cardona did 30 years ago, and you become champion, if you earned it, that's a big step. If you've signed a contract with a company that you love, that's a big step. If you have your first match, if you become, they make $1 and you get an action figure, you're in a video game, there's all these things that you go, this is so cool. Then you're like, man, I hope people trust me enough to let me take over in a match. And then that happens. And then I hope they trust me enough with everything I've done to become champion somewhere. Got it. Then I get a chance to become world champion. Then you get a chance to crush it and lead the way for the company as the figurehead at the front of the line, waving the flag, and that is as great of an honor as it can be for anybody at any place. But knowing that, like, so many people that I look up to, like Kurt Angle or even friggin' Bobby Roode, who I got to team with for a few years, knowing what they did and how long they did it for and to sustain it and let everybody know that as world champion, they were not just one piece of it, not just pretty good at one of these things, not just get known, not just get on the microphone, not just good at their work, but they're so well-rounded and so respected. Kurt Angle, one of the greatest of all time, my hero. And he was TNA World Champ, and he embodied it. Like, he could back it up in every aspect of the ring. And I hope to one day be in conversations of guys that, like, this is the guy that embodied being World Heavyweight Champion, and he delivered every time he could.
I'm sure you're in those conversations. I'm pretty sure. I mean, you are
Absolutely.
Considered one of the best wrestlers in the world, I've been watching
I was just being humble,
Because I got to tell you, man, growing up, watching what you do in the ring and watching what you're doing in the ring right now, I got to tell you, it shows that you're putting your heart and your passion in it to entertain. And I think that's what really leads me to this next question. What has been the most defining moment for you since joining TNA?
Wow.
I think that's probably a lot, but
there's several for me, but I think for fans, it was showing up. Because so many people said, man, you haven't taken a day off in 20 years. And if you're going anywhere, you're going to AEW. We know. I already heard. And I just really needed a break. I go, hey, man, and by the way, I don't even like breaks. I just needed to get out of there because I was in the same situations. If it had something changed, had I had a major injury or been out for 6 months or a year or 2 years or left, then there could have been some kind of like a regrowth there, but there was nowhere else to go. So it was just like, no matter what happens, since I don't take any time off, I can't have people wish that I was back. It would just be like, oh, there's Dolph. He's going to steal the show and do better than everyone else. Anyway, on to the main event. And in this case, I needed something to where I needed to, like, fake an injury or something or go away. And back when Vince was in control years ago, I go, I have to leave. Are you going to make me quit? Are you going to make me quit, or will you give me 6 months off? I'm not looking to get paid for those 6 months. I just need to be off your television show. Can you imagine begging Vince McMahon to be off of his television show? That was my dream since I was 5 years old, but I go, I have to do it. I don't go away ever. There's no injury time off. I went and shot a movie for 6 weeks, and they brought a camera crew with me, and I still sent things into Raw. I was never off the damn show. So, so there has to be a point to where for people to be excited to see you, you have to go away. And I tried and tried, and one time he finally, this is one of the funniest damn things. He goes, all right, damn it, 3 months. You're gone. Nothing. He goes, you hear that, everybody? Creative, agents, nobody bothers him for 3 months. I go, Vince, I'm turning my phone off. I'm telling you right now. I know. You got it. You finally, it's 16 years in. No one's going to talk to you. A week and a half later, I get a phone call at 1 a.m. And I won't go into the details. But he goes, why the hell aren't you in our Royal Rumble? And I go, boss, 8 days ago you told me that you won't contact me no matter what for 3 months. And you're finally letting me have, and you're bringing me back a week later? I go, come on. I walked in, and it happened to be, it was in my hometown. If it wasn't, I would have given him a hard time and trying to get out of it. But it was in my hometown. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. I have a comedy show that night. I go, you're just lucky that I happen to have another booking in town. So I walked into that building. Drew McIntyre looks at me and goes, what the hell are you doing here? And I go, I don't know, man. I can't get out. So I had to say the same joke to 45 people that I went to. What the hell are you doing here? We were there for the big shouting match where you said you're turning your phone off for 3 months. I'm like, I know. Oh. So I could never, ever get out. But what a great problem to have. The boss, whose entire place it is, says, I need you every damn day for 20 years. So that was a fantastic problem to have. So even though it wouldn't come down to like tons of wins down the line, I had the respect of the locker room, the guys and gals, and Vince behind the scenes, and everyone else knowing that they could trust me with anything. They could put me in any situation. And I feel like that's, well, Vince told me a lot of times, a reason I lost so much is because I could get around it. And, it was okay for me to lose because everybody would be behind me. And I was just like, at some point, that's an issue. Anyway, any of those things, I needed some time off and to get a fresh break and go somewhere new. And I was blown away by the infrastructure, the talent, the people behind the scenes, and really important to me, the locker room. The camaraderie was already there. And I had people texting me saying, dude, just give us a chance. And I go, I just got out of a long-term relationship. I'm not looking to date. I'll swipe right for a night or something, but I'm not looking to date, And they're like, just come in, give us a chance. And I was sold at the first taping. I was blown. I remember, I keep telling the story, but because we're doing a bunch of media, so I'm telling some of the same stories. But it's like, I walked in there and I go, who the hell is that? It was an explosion match. And they go, Leon Slater. I'm like, wow, how long has he been wrestling? And they go, the guy's 20 years old. And I go, can we sign him to a 20-year deal right now? I'm like, holy cow. I was in this bubble for 20 years. And I wasn't, and I watched other wrestling. I watched Japan. I watched Mexico. I watched TNA. I watched AEW. I watched everything. But I didn't pay close attention. And there were so many people out there that I didn't know their names. And now, when I'm doing interviews like now, I'm going, this is our upcoming guy. This is the upcoming gal. This is who we should put the rock on. This is who we should get all behind. And it's nice to know that, I famously don't watch wrestling, but I'm so engulfed in TNA that it's like, I'll be the ambassador, whether I'm the champ or not even on the show.
Right. That's awesome to hear, because it sounds like in that time that you had the opportunity to take a break, it gave you that time to breathe, but, reintroduce yourself to your craft is what it sounds like.
Sure, and it really was. I just needed, and by the way, I know I keep saying this, but I needed time off a TV show. I hate being at home. I hate not working. I hate not multitasking 24 hours a day. I hate it. But it just needed to be done. And even then, last year, I have an agent a friend of mine, and she takes everything, and she's the bad cop for everything and grabs everything in, and I send everyone her way. And I just kept sending people her way, sending people like, here, this thing, this show, this country, this place. And without noticing it, I booked myself on 50 of 52 weeks last year. And I was like, I didn't even give myself a vacation on accident. I was just so excited. I'm like, I want to go to Mexico. I want to wrestle Tanahashi. I want to go here. And it was just like all these pieces fell in. And I go, oh, I have no time off again. I go, which is great. So it was like I accidentally booked it to where I got a couple of weeks off once I got the release. And then I was like, I'm dying to go back to work. And I never took a week off. And even those 2 weeks that I had off, I added something to it or went somewhere or gave myself like 3 days to try and enjoy vacation before I went back to work. It's nothing new. I couldn't like rebrand myself. I'm like, I'm Nick the plumber. It's like, you can't be like, just I'm the mummy now. Like, I just got to be me. But also, instead of going, I need you to say these 3 words and only these 3 words, you get here's the idea. Go sell some tickets. Hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
Wow.
yes. I mean, you've been showing off, no pun intending. So Genesis is coming up, and you have an upcoming challenger, Joe Hendry. How do you feel about him as a challenger?
As a challenger, dude, let's see. On TV, I've told him plenty of nice things. Too many nice things for somebody I got punched in the face on Sunday. But most importantly, behind the scenes, I've watched him grow, and I said, listen, man, there was a chance you could have been champ 3-4 months ago, and it would have been like the strike while the iron's hot. He's got a viral thing. He's got #1 on WWE's account from NXT showing up. Let's go right now, make him champ. And he could have been champ, and it could have been a bunch of naysayers. I would have been one of them. This guy's the champ because of a viral moment. Let's see him back it up in the ring. And if there was one little crack, I'd be like, hey, listen, he doesn't have it. Instead, he got the viral moment. He got the big organic moments that all of us fight so hard to get, and most of us can't get ever. He got that, and then he got the title shot, sent to the back of the line, worked his way back up. So now you got the viral moment, the cool clips, the cool songs. That's a fun attraction. But now you have a little bit of grit there. And now he's a more believable, well-rounded person. Now he's better at wrestling. Now he knows the business a little bit better. Now I trust him in the main event. Now I go, you know what? If he were to ever beat me, now's the damn right time. I'm not going to lay down for anybody. I'd be doing a disservice to the fans, to TNA, and that world championship. And the second that bell rings, the respect is over with, and I go back into my zone of kicking ass and not being outdone by anybody. But until that point, this guy deserves this shot, and if he gets it, damn it, I'm proud of him. If he doesn't, he's done.
Right. And, I'm glad that we're talking about this now, with Genesis being one of TNA's, marquee events. How do you feel going into it as the TNA World Champion?
Dude, it's the coolest thing in the world. And I've said this before, and I mean it. If I wasn't even on this show, because it wasn't my time at the moment, and I was just, hey, next month, maybe I got a shot, but I'm just happy to do the PR. I would be an ambassador for this company no matter what. I would be doing the same interviews right now because I believe in it, and I know Sunday kicks off this monumental year. Last year was awesome. The last 2 years, the building blocks were put into place. Now it is go time. Do we want to flourish and be a badass brand that people are begging to be on the show, begging to get in the building? It all starts Sunday at Genesis.
So what legacy do you want to leave behind within, if you decide to, hang it up in a few years, 20 years later, because, people like to wrestle till they're 67, 73,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I used to be one of those guys when I was 10, like, man, everybody retires and they come back 20 times, like, what the hell? And then you realize we love this so much that if we can do it at 80, we would be begging for that spotlight. We have that. We want to be the center of attention, but we also want to be good at it. We don't want to be at the center of attention, but we don't have it anymore, because that's the only thing that hurts you even more. Like, everyone's looking at me and I don't have my A game. I got like a B or C plus game. No, I won't allow it. But the second I lose a step, I will take a step back and reevaluate. But man, that might not happen for 10 more years. It's so funny. I have to keep going and making the jokes like, oh, I'm the older guy, the bad guy. Sure. But nobody outworks me or outdoes me or has better matches or can beat me on the microphone or can beat me in the back or can talk to investors or talk to online and do PR or go talk politics somewhere or talk numbers or stocks or bonds. And I go, until that day, I'm not too worried about it. My legacy that I care about the most, I've been very fortunate to get championships, matchups, cool-ass moments, some of the greatest things that you couldn't even imagine as a kid. But what I care about the most, and this means to me a lot, the fans stuck by me when the last company I was at with booking told them not to, and they still stuck with me to a point.
Right.
And then it was time to get out of there. And now what matters to me most is the guys and gals in the back. I have their respect and they know what I can do. And that's the most important thing to me. I've always been like, I hope I retire a 10-time world champion. Like, I hope when I retire, one, I made the business better because I was in it. And two, There's a reason that you don't have to hey, grab everybody to come by and applaud Nick. He won another championship, but he's an old guy. Where people organically want to go, hey man, I'm glad I was with this guy. I'm glad I worked with him. I'm glad he was our leader here. I'm glad we got to go toe to toe in a main event of a pay-per-view and go, hell yeah, thank you. That's the important part to me is the hard work that we all know that we all do. And somehow I have a reputation in the hardest working people in this business. I have a reputation of being one of the hardest workers, which is unheard of. And I back it up, and just my teammates, co-workers, having their respect is the absolute utmost for me.
That's awesome. And I have a closing question for you, Nick. You mentioned the what you shared with Joe, but what message do you have for the younger wrestlers that are out there training and trying to get to where you've gone and trying to go even further? What do you have to say to them?
It's weird because 15 years ago, or what year is it now? 25? Yeah, 15-ish years ago, in a world where everybody was trying to do something different, Zack Ryder found a way to do YouTube and social media. Now social media is locked in, and we're all on. Man, my grandma's on social media, so you're not revolutionizing anything, but you get to a point to where how do you find a way to stand out? The first thing I absolutely did when I first started wrestling, and not training, I was in Ohio Valley Wrestling. Randy Orton was the youngest world champion of all time. He had short black hair, he wore black trunks, and he just looked like menacing the whole time. So everybody in the independents, not everybody, a lot of people in the independents and at Ohio Valley Wrestling were on purpose or subconsciously emulating him. Everybody was serious. Everyone was mean. Everyone wore black trunks, had black hair, short, and were I'm going to be the champion. And I went, well, I'm still learning, but I'm going to do pink trunks, blonde hair. I put it into pigtails, and then I still got really good at wrestling, but I wanted to stand out. And one of the first things I saw, we had it was a 400 seat arena, and there was this one hard camera back shot, with 4 rows of people. And I go, what if I got an aqua blue shirt and passed it out to everybody who sat over there? And just on the off chance that the office was watching our weekly show, they would see this sea of Nic Nemeth shirts and say, why is who cares that I cheated? Why I passed them out to them? They'd be like, why do 40 people out of these 56 people had this shirt on? Oh my God, let's give this guy a tryout. Let's call him up. And it was just always trying to think outside of the box. I gravitated towards John Morrison, The Miz, and Zack Ryder the most because they were always off. Morrison was trying to rap and do movies and karate and all this crazy shit that I don't even understand that he's doing. He might not understand it. Miz was trying to do movies, social media, get on TV shows. And then Zack Ryder's going outside of the box, doing YouTube, social media. But we weren't doing it to escape WWE. We were doing it to bring more eyes to WWE and get a better position and make ourselves more valuable while making the company more valuable. And we all just gravitated towards each other because we wanted not to do the status quo of the best. We wanted to go above and beyond. So now you got to find a way to stand out in a social media world where we're all making movies, videos on our phones and going above and beyond. Cool merchandise. Everyone's got cool gear. How do you step out now? Get noticed one way or another because there is a million badass people who are better than me at wrestling, but I've got the entire total package locked up to where I'm going to keep kicking ass until someone takes it away from me.
Well, that's deep, man. I got to tell you, we here at the Last Shot podcast, we are grateful to have you come here and represent TNA as the world champion. We wish you the best out there at Genesis. Thank you for coming. It is awesome to have you here. Zach and I been watching wrestling for a long time. So to have you here and to share your perspective with us, top notch.
All right. Hell yeah, man. Happy to get the word about a TNA, but it's the place to be right now. And it's so exciting and fun that I've been here. It seems like a long time to me because we've been locking and loading and doing everything, but it's been a year and there's 10 more to go of this rocket to the top, I think.
And we're going to see it too, man. We're definitely going to see it.
Hell
we're
yeah.
Definitely going to see
Let's do it, baby.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I told you we would never steer you astray. We would never let you down. TNA World Champion Nic Nemeth here on the Last Shot Podcast. You stay tuned for what's next.
Beautiful.